Good morning, everyone. I wanted to get on here this morning and talk about something sort of old-fashioned and something that we probably all remember but have maybe forgotten about. And that is the old art of wearing an apron. So as you can tell, I have an apron on today, and this one is one that I bought from a craft festival not long ago, actually, and it's kind of a peach color. It's got garden things on it, like it's got a wheelbarrow, some sunflowers, different kinds of plants and gardening tools. And I just thought this was really pretty. It was handmade by someone at the craft festival, so that's why I bought that. And I'm going to show you some more aprons here in a few minutes. I don't have a lot of them, but I like wearing aprons. I think that it would be nice to bring them back. You know, in the old movies, you always see the women with the aprons on when they're cleaning house or cooking. And a lot of times they just wore them all day long because they did chores throughout the day. So one thing that was really interesting is I found at an antique mall, I found this book called The Grandma Book. And maybe it was a year or so ago I found this book. I also have one called The Grandpa Book. And I got this because it reminded me, it's kind of old fashioned looking. I don't know what year it was made, but it had an article in here about wearing aprons. And the article is called "You Just Didn't Cook Without an Apron." And this is by Virginia Hearn Maker of St. Charles, Missouri. So I'm going to read that article to you in a minute. But first, I want to tell you the really neat thing about me buying this book. So let me see if I can find the copyright date on this. It is a little older. It's not extremely old, but it is a little older. I don't know. Somebody had written in it that they gave it as a gift in 1983. Okay, the copyright date is 1982, so it's not that old, but they are taking you back in time to tell you stories from the past. So I'm going to read that article to you in a minute, but first I wanted to tell you about when I got the book. I was really interested in it. I saw that article about the aprons and I thought, oh, how neat, and that's just such a sweet article. And then I saw something in the newspaper about this class that a nursing home was having called The History of the Apron. So I was working at the time though, so I really wanted to go, but I didn't know how I would be able to go because it was during my work hours. So I just asked my boss, is there any way that I can have off for this time period? And I think I came back to work. I think I went and then I came back to work. So this was really, really special to me. And they just had a class where they talked about aprons. They had aprons hanging up on these racks in the front of the room, and they had different speakers, and they talked about various things. They gave us handouts. They had snacks. It was really, really fun to see the different kinds of aprons that women used to wear over the ages. So I'm going to go ahead and show you. I'm going to read a couple things to you that they gave us in the class, and then I'm going to read that article, and I'm going to show you some of the aprons that I have. All right, this is something they gave us in the class, just a little handout. It's called Apronisms, Pocket Wisdom for Every Day. And let's see, an apronism is, let's see, okay. Yeah, it's just pocket wisdom for every day. Apronisms. Okay. Fear not letting go the apron strings. The best way to hold on to children is to let them go. Sure, there are days when our young children take the stuffing out of us, and we cannot wait for them to be off. But then they do leave, and the house is so silent, we can hear the molecules banging about. If we do it right and let our children experience living free from the tethers, they will come home. And that is so very true for those of us who know, who have had children and have our grown children have moved out of the house. It's hard to let them go, but when we do, we find that relationship will strengthen even more. So thought you would enjoy that. And then this is something else they gave us called Grandma's Apron. And I'm going to read this to you. I'm not sure who wrote this. It's just something they gave us in the class. The principal use of Grandma's apron was to protect the dress underneath. Because she only had a few, it was easier to wash aprons than dresses, and they used less material. But along with that, it served as a pot holder for removing hot pans from the oven. It was wonderful for drying children's tears, and on occasion was even used for cleaning out dirty ears. From the chicken coop, the apron was used for carrying eggs, fussy chicks, and sometimes half-hatched eggs to be finished in the warming oven. When company came, those aprons were ideal hiding places for shy children. Those big old aprons wiped many a perspiring brow bent over the hot wood stove. Chips and kindling wood were brought into the kitchen with that apron. From the garden, it carried all sorts of vegetables. After the peas had been shelled, it carried out the hulls. In the fall, the apron was used to bring in apples that had fallen from the trees. When unexpected company drove up the road, it was surprising how much furniture that old apron could dust in a matter of seconds. When dinner was ready, Grandma walked out onto the porch, waved her apron, and the men knew it was time to come in from the fields to eat. It will be a long time before someone invents something that will replace that old-time apron that served so many purposes. And then there's a little note here that's kind of cute. Remember, Grandma used to set her hot-baked apple pies on the windowsill to cool. Her granddaughters set theirs on the windowsills to thaw. They would go crazy now trying to figure out how many germs were on that. I don't think I ever caught anything from that apron. So that is so cute. And, you know, just thinking about all of the uses that the aprons served. Sometimes when I wear a apron around the house, which isn't very often, and my granddaughter, who's 4, has reminded me at times that I forgot to put my apron on when I'm cooking or making a meal. And that's true. I do. We just don't get in the habit of doing that these days. We should, and I want to get in the habit more because aprons are kind of fascinating things. I don't know why. It's just like I'm never really fascinated with an article of clothing as much as with an apron. So I don't think that we have as many uses for aprons today, but if you watch this video, put in the comments section if you wear, let me know if you wear an apron, and if you do, what other uses does it serve other than just protecting your clothes while you're cooking. And I'm going to show you a few aprons today. This is one that I got from as a gift. This is one I got as a gift when I went to the class. It has got a couple pockets in it, which I really liked. And let's see, I got one big pocket here and one big pocket here. I have not washed it yet, so it's still kind of a little bit stiff. But they gave that to us as a gift for our class that we went to that day. This is an apron that I got from my aunt and uncle many, many years ago. It's a Christmas apron. And I've just had this probably longer than any other apron that I have. And it says joy on it. It's got a little reindeer. And my aunt and uncle actually printed this. They had a screen printing business, so they printed these for Christmas every year for everyone in the family. And it also has 2 large pockets at the bottom, and it ties in the back. I guess a lot of times I tie my aprons like that for some reason, and then I just slip them over my head so that I don't have to tie them every time. So that's my oldest apron. And then this is probably, I want to say this is my favorite apron, although it doesn't have all the features that I like. But it is my favorite because it's the softest and the cutest. It's another Christmas one, but it is the snowman. And this one has just an, I don't have to tie that or anything. That might be why I tied the other ones, because I like how it just slips over your head and it does tie, but it doesn't have any pockets. That's kind of a bummer that there are not any pockets in this, but it's super soft and comfy like your clothes would be. I love this. And then this one is a little apron that I got from a craft festival. It was the same craft festival I got this one, I believe, but it was a different year. And I bought this for my granddaughter, It's just a little Bluey apron, and Bluey's a character. If you're not familiar with that, it's like a character on a cartoon. This one is really neat, and I kind of had this uh, specially made because she had the lady that was selling these had the aprons, but I wanted like a pocket in it, so I asked her if she would make a pocket. So she really made this according to my specifications, and I got it later. I didn't actually get it at the craft festival, but one thing I like about this is it has a sliding um, ribbon, or I guess what do you call this, like a tie that goes around your head. The the straps, I'm not sure what they're called, but anyway, there's like a little slot there. She's got a little place where you can pull it up and adjust it so it makes it longer or shorter to pull it over your head. I guess you just call it the apron string, but anyway, and then it, it ties. You can retighten it, and then you can tie it in the back. So that is really neat. And I got that one from my house, and then she has one for her house. And honestly, it's been a while, so I can't remember what the one at her house looks like, but I think it might be a lighter blue. So, all right. So let me know in the comment section what kind of aprons you have. If you have a video, like a YouTube channel, feel free to make your own video, and I would love to watch it. And let me know in the comments if you are going to make a video so I can go watch it and share it. So now I'm going to read from the grandma book, the article called "You Just Didn't Cook Without an Apron." Aprons make me an oddity in this space age. I prefer in this space age. This is a 1980. What did I say? 1982 book in the space age, but it was the space age, but it wasn't as modern of a time as it is now. Okay, let me start over. Aprons make me an oddity in this space age. I prefer to protect myself from dribbles and splashes by wearing one. Most of my friends never use an apron. Oh, perhaps someone gave them a froth of green organdy embellished with a red poinsettia to don for chick entertaining during the holiday season. But for every day, they use a small towel buttoned to the handle of the refrigerator door, which they flick their fingers down occasionally. Isn't that's me too. When I forget my apron, I just always go right to that towel. But my grandmother wore aprons. And you know what's funny is, I hate to even stop in the middle of a story, but one thing that's funny is that when I have an apron on, I don't like to wipe my hands on it. I like to keep it clean. But they didn't worry about that then. So she says, but my grandmother wore aprons. She was a practical woman who made her own, as did most women of the day. There was a set ritual about her day that began at 5 in the morning, when she donned a huge, bibbed, blue and white checked gingham apron kept on a hook behind the kitchen door. As the morning progressed, the pockets bulged as she went from room to room. An embroidery hoop here, a ball of yarn there, a shoe button hook, or a stray button that had fallen from grandfather's shirt. Her apron pockets often held goodies for me, a piece of hard horehound candy or a big red apple. At noon, the gingham apron was whisked off and replaced with a small, dainty apron of frilly organdy and lace-trimmed percale. I don't know how to say that word. I have to look that up later. It was a small scrap of an apron, but still provided protection for her flowered dress, while she dished up the southern fare of hot biscuits, ham, and red eye gravy. On Sundays, Grandma wore the fanciest apron she owned. Her supply was endless and included every color of the rainbow. When the women in the neighborhood went to a quilting bee, a church supper, an apple butter making, or a threshing dinner, each flaunted her newest and prettiest apron. There was as much exchanging of apron patterns as there was recipes for Jeff Davis pie and burnt caramel cake. I've seen my grandmother use her apron as an emergency dust cloth, swishing it across tabletops on her way to answering a knock on the door. She also used it to tote things, like bringing up apples from the cellar, eggs from the hen house, newly hatched baby chicks from the nest, and wood chips from the woodpile. I've even seen her run out and flap her apron, yelling, "Shoo, shoo," to scare off chicken hawks flying low over the chicken house. When I was a child, I used her apron for a crying towel when I fell down and skinned my knees. Men wore aprons too. Back in my grandmother's day, I remember the black rubber apron the Iceman wore, the ticking apron the cobbler wore, the heavy leather one the blacksmith wore, and the big white apron the baker wore. Today, you never see a man wearing an apron unless he's barbecuing ribs at a picnic. Aprons are as old as the beginning of the world. When Adam and Eve aroused the wrath of God in the Garden of Eden, they made themselves aprons of fig leaves. Mary, Queen of Scots, is said to have left over 100 aprons. In the reign of Queen Anne, aprons were richly embroidered and decorated, and the Queen herself wore one. But do you think I can get my daughter to wear one? She says aprons went out with the horse and buggy, and she doesn't care if Queen Anne wore one. I admire my daughter very much. She is a good mother and homemaker, besides having her name on the door of an accounting office. I've told her about grandmother's aprons. I've done everything to convince her to wear one, but to no avail. She thinks I'm unique because I wear an apron. Or does she secretly think I'm weird? When my 8-year-old grandson ties one of my aprons around his shoulders like a cape and races around the lawn pretending he's Superman, I think the wedlock between the old-fashioned apron and the space age is complete. I just love that. I love that so much. Let me show you the picture that goes with that. A picture of Grandma at the stove with her apron on. So I hope you like that story. And one at the beginning of this paragraph reminded me about it said that she made her own aprons. Her grandmother made her own aprons. And it reminded me of a time when I was in high school, when I made an apron in home economics class. So if you made an apron in home economics class, here's my question. Do you still have it? And if you still have it, do you wear it? So I hope you all enjoyed this. I'm going to try to do some more videos of just old-timey things, and I'm trying to work on my channel a little bit and make it more, I guess, make it go better with what it is called, which is Simple Quiet Life. So aprons can remind us of a simpler time when women were at home and they enjoyed doing housework. I'm not sure if they enjoyed it, but it's what they did to take care of their families. And it's something that we can learn today about how to love our families well by caring for them through what we do at home. So I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.